think we're live. You know what time it is. It's also new manicure o'clock. My bestie is slaying my hands lately. Like, just drink that in. So cute. Alright, so I haven't done my card prayer. So we're going to do that live. Spirit of angels, truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness, please come into the circle right now. I ask that my team from the other side and your team from the other side be invited into this circle, as long as they have our highest good in mind. No spirits that wishes harm or to cause confusion are allowed in this circle. I ask that the beings of benevolent darkness that can teach us lessons from the shadows and want our highest good come into this circle. I ask that any deities that you may work with come into this circle. I invite mine. I ask that my ego be removed in order to deliver these messages as clearly and concisely as possible, so that we can derive these messages that need to come through. Please help me be a clear and perfect channel and detach from any results that might come out of these. Sometimes humanity is tempting to get all wound up in it. Okay. Trying to think, is there anything I left out? So, we've had some significant transits with the eclipse, the last full moon in Scorpio. We've had planets moving around. Pluto's about to go retrograde. We've had a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus. That energy is going to change too. They're both to be moving into Aries. Then we have Mars going into Aries. Just as Venus left Aries today and went into Taurus. There's just a little bit of everything. See, of course, like, my asthma starts to act up when I'm on camera. Please excuse me. Maybe this is part of the message, you know? Sometimes the throat chakra will act up. I will yawn sometimes. I'll also get my nose itchy or runny when I'm trying to translate messages. So, I don't know. Then again, maybe it's just hay fever season. I only have clothing to wipe my nose on right now. So, I got a pile of clean clothes on my bed. I'm human and I'm weird. So, usually I have, like, actual handkerchiefs. I don't really use Kleenex, because it tears up your face, honestly. That's how you get that sore nose. Anyway, some tarot reading. I'm still shuffling anyways. Y'all, before I actually get into this reading, I need to tell you what's going on. What's up, girl? Nice to see you. I haven't started my card reading yet. I wanted to gossip a little bit first. I'm still shuffling. I just did my card prayer. So, that's what's up. So, the gossip is all about femininity. And stepping into that for myself. And it's perfect for the astrology. Like, I did tell you in my own chart, like, I was, assessed it live, not live, but in one of these reels not that long ago. And I was talking about the North Node conjunct my Venus. Well, my femininity, everything about that is coming into kind of a pinnacle point. I know this is going to hit somebody that watches my stuff. So that's why I'm sitting here about to share it. It's like two-pronged, like, stuff going on. So, update about my doctor's office. I shit you not. Okay, we had to try several times to get my images to the OBGYN/gynecology office to make sure that they have both ultrasounds and the MRI, because I had 2 ultrasounds that said I had either a septated uterus or they threw in the bicornuate uterus all of a sudden a couple weeks ago. So I have 2 scans that said it was positive for having some type of anomaly. And then I had a more in-depth image that said I don't have the anomaly. My eyebrow looks like it's all rubbed off. Ugh, I spent so much time putting eyebrows on today. How fucking irritating is that? Like, you can kind of see it on this side, but this one's just... Anyway. Lady stuff. Fuck. Femininity. Ugh, it's so tricky. So, I don't really know. The doctor, or the PA that I spoke to in the office on Friday said pretty confidently that my uterus is just fine. That I don't have any anatomical from birth malformations. The only problem that they could see was cysts, which I already knew were there. So, in some ways, we're already back to the drawing board as to why they're trying to misdiagnose me already in the first place, and how that's even happening. And then I have more questions about issues like heavy bleeding, severe pain, and they're going to do a procedure to take tissue from inside of my uterus on the 13th, unless I decide not to go to this office, because let me get to tell you more about the appointment that I had on Friday. I was sitting there, the PA left the room, the physician's assistant, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come back, because they were supposed to draw my blood and get a right of consent for something. I waited there so long, just scrolling on my phone, trying to be patient, that the light shut off on me. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And because I think they're on motion sensors, but still, it was like that long that the thing timed out. And the nurse eventually did come in, and she found me in the room, and she goes, why are you still here? Like, they forgot about me sitting in the office. I don't know if I'm actually going to stay working with this office, but right now, this is where that whole thing is standing. And then, a side note, aside from all this, my mother, who and I have a very strained relationship. I have Moon conjunct Chiron opposite Saturn. Like, it's difficult. She's an Aquarius Sun, Virgo Moon. So, her Saturn's in Taurus. I'm pretty sure either that or it's Jupiter. It's been a while since I looked at her chart. January 31, 1953. If you're curious. She's a difficult person. She's got a lot of psychosis. So, I don't know if it's drug-induced or if she's just crazy. But she begged me for some updated photos via text. And it took me a while to get around to having the time to do it. But I sent her some updated photos of me. Some of them were from the photo shoot that I had early March. You guys have already seen these shots. She hasn't. And I also sent her some older ones. And she told me that my photos were too much. And basically threatened me with going to hell for taking pretty photos. She has, anyway, so, that's giving me an opportunity to take a step back and realize that this whole fucked up uterus situation, this whole Moon conjunct Chiron open wound situation that I'm always dealing with, she has her open wounds too. And any issues that were born within me, anatomically speaking, came from her and her fucked up body and her fucked up emotions, which came from her mother and her fucked up body and her fucked up emotions. So, in the middle of trying to find stability and security in my own body and celebrating my femininity, there's a challenge to remain tender and soft and also assertive and have boundaries. You see that juxtaposition going on? I have to test myself to stay feminine while everything in the world around me is wanting to put me in my masculine energy. Granted, a lot of my feminine energy is in Aries. That's a masculine sign. But there's balance to everything, and I'm seeking that out. Now, we'll get to the cards. That was my gossip session. Because I know people who watch me every day actually give a shit about the things that are going on if I bother to complain about it and then cry on camera. So, I don't want to leave you hanging. Like, these are all lessons. These are all things happening to help me grow as a woman in general. So, I shall. Anyway, hopefully that touched somebody. I mean, I know it's a struggle, and I know I'm not the only one dealing with it. My intention with this card pull, maybe just a general, you know, like give us what we need to know right now. Yeah? And then I don't really want to take reversals, guys. So, like, I feel like the room is really full right now. I'm in my room by myself. So, that's usually how I know things are good. Now I feel like, now that we had our little warm-up session, our little chit-chat, we can get these cards rolling. Let's see what the general is for the day. Well, maybe not for the day, but you know, it's always today. It's always right now. So this reading is for whenever we sit here and watch that all from an entirety. What do we need to know at this point in time, in this space, right now? I like my 3-card readings, but I feel like I need to pull 4, so I don't really do Celtic crosses, especially when I'm having weird lighting in my room and having to set my tripod up on my pillows right in front of me. I don't have a lot of space. Okay, so first card. Like I said, I'm not taking reversals. So, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys. All majors. Except for this one. There's always a reason why I have a bullshit session right before a tarot card reading, because there's always a full circle. I had mentioned Pluto retrograde. We have the Death card. The Sun card. Then the Emperor. I was talking about Aries energy, was I not? Okay. Finally, lastly, we have the Three of Swords. I was talking about emotional pain too, frustration, healing, opportunities to expand and grow. Really, this is disgustingly literal. So obviously we have things that are regenerating, you know, withering and dying and regenerating all at the same time. Identities, philosophies, points of view, you know, patterns, the way we do things, the way we've been known to do things. Like perceptions of ourselves, the way we think, who we are, you know, who we think we are, who we actually are, our habits. Everything's getting reshuffled. I literally went to a cemetery to hang out yesterday, and I'm pulling the death card. It was a beautiful sunny day. We haven't had a lot of sunny days in Southern California for weeks. Most of the year, actually. And a rare sunny day came along, and it's one of the only places girls can go in California where there's not screaming children, not a bunch of speakers, not a bunch of gross dudes, when you can just go vibe in nature, right? So it sounds spooky, but it's not. Cemeteries. Sunshine. To me, this is saying, you know, this, some cases, 8th house, okay, we're thinking Plutonian stuff when we're talking about the death card. Shared resources might be taking a tumble. Our perceptions of how stable we were, having to change things, getting out of the comfort zone, embracing discomfort in favor of greater rewards down the road. All these themes, like we have literally a religious figure more or less dying, or a king. It's not focusing like I want it to. You see? What the fuck? I have sparkles now? Where did the sparkles come in at? An eyeliner? These filters be doing anything they fucking want. Anyways, so the death card is sparkly now. That's so distracting. Whatever. I'm trying to glean whatever else I can from this. So when a king dies, he has his crown's on the ground. His scepter's on the ground. The Pope's scepter's on the ground. Maybe that's the Pope's scepter. We have to go through the emotions of it. There's water in the back. You know, we have, the only way out is through. But, you know, it's like, for flowers to bloom, you have to go through fertilization and shit and entropy and decay to get there. And you're going to have feelings about it. But look, if you're consistent, rise like the sun, shine your light, be authentic, come at things with a childlike mind, have fun, play, be rebellious in the fact that you're shining your light. This filter is driving me insane. No more sparkle. I don't know which one I did have before. Close enough. Okay, so when I feel this card, when I'm feeling into the sun card, you know that sense when somebody's giving you a massage, or you're like literally stepping outside in the sunshine, and it's just like this warm sense of like a tension release, like a breath, just finally catching up with your spirit, integrating yourself real quick, photosynthesizing like the complicated human like plant you are. and just sort of flowing and enjoying it and getting on. You know, what's interesting about this is there's two white horses. Purity is a factor. It's raw. You can't be anything but naked, in the sense that there's no pretense that can be had in the face of death. There's no pretense that can be had in the face of rebirth, and that sense of it's warm, it's sun shining. Like, there's a sense of release in both cards. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody die, but it's only hard for the people who are left behind, if that makes sense. It is a release. So this struggle, this perception of death, this perception of loss, this perception of having to, the only way out is through, going through the motions of the grief, is temporary, because it's a necessary cycle that we need to go through. You know, it's kind of a palindrome here. It's saying, like, heartbreak begets heartbreak, but it's never the same heartbreak every single time. We will level up in our identity, our abilities to handle whatever comes through, the way we soldier up, the way we inspire others, the way we lead others. It's that sense of warmth carrying on into our spirit and turning into leadership. That sense of release, that you know, through loss comes art, okay? Some of the best art gets born out of the most miserable situations. So I feel like this is, in a sense, taking that and putting it in our chests and walking around with it and putting it in motion, because that's what an emperor does. He takes charge of and transmutes the things that are toughening him up, insisting that he gets hard, and turning it into a leadership position where I think you know what I'm saying. Like, it's an empowerment. We're walking on steady ground, even though the temperatures might rise. The summer's coming. You know, this Three of Swords, okay? So it looks like it ends badly. I'm going to pull some more cards. I think I'm going to at least pull 2 more. But I'm feeling from the Three of Swords that we understand our hearts better, and it's not necessarily grief, pain, a continuance of the grief and the pain. It's an appreciation for the grief and the pain, because we have knowledge. I feel like it's really symbolic too. This is a really deep reading. I feel like we get perspective, higher perspective. Things are coming through the air. We get messages in regards to feedback from our hearts, where they're, you know, like I was just talking about this yesterday, where nature delivers messages to us. So in a way, I feel like we have rain, we have clouds, we have the heart element, and we have some air. It's like I'm doing that influencer nail tappy thing, but it's like I'm thinking if I had a pen, I'd be like clicking it. It's just stimming. I feel like these swords are more about new angles of understanding and enlightenment piercing the heart in a way that could hurt. Because often when we start to take responsibility, Emperor, for the way we feel, for the way we handle big life changes, sacrifice, when we start to own that success can also hold its own grief, we just get perspective changes. Like, I feel like we're waking up to a deeper rhythm of desire than we had before. So, especially with Taurus, this Venus Taurus thing, our concept of what we could be building on is changing greater. So whether you're in a masculine or feminine state doesn't really matter. When we see the sun right here having wavy lines and straight lines, that's the masculine and feminine being integrated. So this is wholeness either way you slice it. Being understood and put into action. These perceptions coming in, like, I understand my heart better. I understand the things that trigger me better. I understand why I needed to go through what I went through. You understand where I'm getting this? I understand why it had to hurt. I understand why the only way out was through. I understand what I need to do with it. And I understand how deeply affected and changed that I am forever. Does that make sense? Wow, this reading's fucking dope. So what are we going to do about these things? So tell me 2 more cards. I want to get an assignment here. Give us either like advice. No, yeah, I just want advice. Give us advice about moving forward with this perception and, you know, the best way to handle it. You know, I love real spiritual advice. That's my thing. So let's get some real spiritual advice. We got what is, and that's pretty deep. It's pretty fucking deep, especially with these transits. Okay. All right. You guys, this is good. King of Pentacles, the Empress. Talking about femininity, the Empress shows up. You can't get any more perfect. So, that sense of leadership carries forward in an action sense. I think focusing for the rest of, you know, I don't put timelines on these cards, so focusing for the next little while on, this is like an awareness, a investment psychologically and in your lifestyle. So making incremental changes in the mindset of security. And it doesn't have to be in a masculine way, although I would say this is giving us an idea that maybe fusing those 2 aspects of yourself in your spirit, utilizing both your masculine and feminine, would be the most beneficial. When it comes to the King of Pentacles, he's not working hard, okay? Neither of these cards are working hard. In this advice, it's just embodiment. These people already have what they need. Taurus season. It's yellow, so they're already happy. They're already feeling satisfied. They're already feeling content. And they're already either matching energy with each other. This might be relationship, or this might be relationship within the self. It's giving Hyros Gamos, left hand, right hand unification, spiritually. But it could also be, you know, a sense that relationships in general, because of all this internal reshuffling and perspective changes, the expansion and vulnerability that we've been dealing with, lead us into a more raw, authentic state, which gives us this sense of balance with our masculine, feminine, or the other, that maybe our partners or our love interest or the person we have a crush on, person you live with, roommate, any type of relationship situation that you deal with on a daily basis, right? A sense of security. There's no effort here. The effort was in going through the shit, and it's been done. The rest of this effort has to do with the mind and cultivating a sense of security and having faith in that. And doing the things that give yourself a sense of trust that you're handling the situation. Pampering yourself a little bit, maybe. Making good decisions on, yeah, maybe even getting a massage. Owning it. Straight up owning yourself, your energy, whichever polarity you live in, whichever way you identify, it's being more integrated in that. There's strength and tenderness and a rawness here, but also a great deal of playfulness, creativity, and curiosity. Along with luxuriating, breaking it down, we have, you know, I guess Pluto is debatable whether it's fire or water. So we have kind of a fire-water situation. We have the Sun, Leo. We have Aries. We have Swords. So that's air. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Empress, Venus, any Venusian association. So that's getting nurtured, growth, photosynthesizing in the sunshine, sitting outside and enjoying yourself, growing seeds, harvesting. People say that the Empress card has to do with pregnancy, so I think it's just so funny. I had to rant about my uterus right before this, and it's like kind of just saying relax about all that shit. It'll sort itself out. The data's coming through. So that's what I'm picking up for myself with these cards. Although the intention wasn't for me. But I see how it plays out for me too. Like, just stay calm in your authority. Really, it's trust yourself. Because you've already been through the shit that you, like, it's like you went to high school, college, and you learned the basic lessons that you needed, but then you also got to have life experience. And that life experience really taught you more than the textbook would have. And it feels really good. Like her stars and her crown, her knowledge, and her juiciness. Like, she just knows she's the shit, and she has no reason to get dirt under her nails. She has no reason to stress or furrow her brow. She never heard of Botox, and she doesn't look like she needs it. Like, this, I love these two cards to end this. So, I feel like this makes sense. The advice was, understand that you're more secure than you might think you are going through the shit. Understand that everything that needed to be planted's already been planted. Your security isn't going to get rocked just because you have a temporary emotion. You got to just follow it through and understand that there's a perception shift that needs to be had in order to understand this is where you're really at, and you're not backsliding. Okay. I literally just told one of my best friends, she said Mercury retrograde made her feel like she had head trauma. And I laughed and I said Aries. Had trauma. It's just a perception shift. It's just getting kind of rocked in that backwards forwards motion. And we're still going to get that every single day. That's the thing with this transit bullshit. Like, that's why I don't do daily transits like other astrologers or weekly transits. I feel like you can get lost in the weeds with taking personal responsibility for the as above, so below part. Like, your transits don't supersede your ability to make choices. Does that make, you know what I mean? Like, we all have shitty transits. Every single day. It's a matter of what you do with it that counts. So that's why I don't, like, sit here and tell people what to think and feel about every fucking day, because you have to make your own way regardless. So, anyway. I find tarot to be extremely helpful for being able to get good advice and helping figure out how to navigate these things instead of feeling like you're underneath them. You're staying on top of it and getting good advice on how to ABCD instructions, you know, kind of navigate through it and get more clear conversation with spirit about it. So that's my philosophy. I love doing readings. I prefer doing readings over astrology because my astrology takes more time, and I would love to be more instant gratification with the people that show up and want my help. So, oh my god, my stomach is growling. I hope you can't hear that. I need to eat some foods. But, so, if you want, I gotta do my declaration here. If you want to work with me for readings, I have a link. I haven't changed my Squarespace yet. I haven't taken the time to figure it out, but right now still the Squarespace is active. I've got several different reading styles available. So if it seems like you want to work together and have some cards pulled for yourself that are not for general reading, something more tailored for you, I can get you on my schedule. So I love you guys. Thank you for sitting with me. Plutonic Desire. I love your content. I just don't think I know your first name. I don't know what to call you. So I want to say thank you for spending your time with me and being such a great supporter. This damn thing has a delay. So even I'm going to give you time to I appreciate you. I think your content is edgy in a way that's really necessary. Much necessary. So I appreciate you. So, stay weird. Let's get loud with it. It's Pluto Aquarius, and it's going to go back into Capricorn, by the way. So, we have to really double down with our boundaries and what we're being strong about. Fuck Pluto Capricorn. I'm so over it. I really have been enjoying Pluto Aquarius. It's trining a lot. You know, I'm double air. I'm double Gemini, so I don't hate Pluto in air at all. It feels pretty good. I just don't like Pluto Earth at all. That's my 8th house. I like it in my 9th. It's cool. I'm learning things. But anyway, this has been long enough. I know Instagram is not for long content, so I appreciate you sticking with me and spending time with me and enjoying these readings and whatever else I put out. I love you guys so much. I already said bye 12 times, but I'm going to do it this time, I swear. Okay, gotta actually press the button this time.